Hello everyone and welcome back to Transport Fever, our Let's Build Manchester map. Now we're coming into video 10 now, and to be honest we should be reaching video 30 if I'd stuck to a weekly schedule, but unfortunately we have missed a very large chunk of time. But hey ho, we're here and you're here. Obviously, if you're watching this, so thank you for joining me again for this video. Now, as you can see in the background, we are straight into the time-lapse stuff. I'm not recording this with a live backing because, unfortunately, time got away from me again this week. But I wanted to make sure I did have a video out. So, the time-lapse stuff is a bit longer to compensate for what we've lost. Now, I'm kind of recording this as I'm loading the game up for my outro, so I can't see what you're seeing right now. But this episode is going to work more on getting the roads in place and getting some buses running. The reason I've gone for buses at this stage, and they're not following the actual route they should, so I do apologise for that. I am going to go through and correct that. However, the question is, how far do we go with this? And this I need your help for. Do we want to have it so all the bus routes follow the real roads in Manchester, or do we want to take a general idea of where they're going, make sure they go to the right stations, but kind of let the game do its thing and make the town scenes up naturally? That's where I'm at right now. Is I'd like to have your feedback on that. I guess a large portion of it depends on if we're going to actually ride the buses in the end. I know I have got a couple of viewers who actually live in or around Manchester, so they would, I'm guessing, probably prefer that we can actually go around, ride their local bus route, and with the exception of the buildings, it follow the actual route. Maybe you guys are not too fussed about that though. We are going to get some train rides in. I am planning at the end of this video, when we close up, we'll be doing another train ride, just so we can sort of see the progress so far, because we have come a long way. It looks very sparse, I know, still 10 episodes in, there's a whole heap of stuff still to do, but we are getting there, and I think we're ready for a little running. I am looking at just bringing the track south of Stockport because we're getting close to the edge of the map, so another port needs to go in there, and we may not get to that today, but possibly in the next couple of episodes, so we can at least get some West Coast mainline trains in. Sorry. Anyway, it's going to close it up. I'll leave you with a time lapse and catch you soon. Welcome back to Stockport. Slightly different looking one to where we left it in the time lapse, and the reason for that is I am a muppet and I didn't do a save, and unfortunately I stopped recording on the time lapse and I still had the game running and just clicked out to check that the recording had stopped successfully and that there was a video, and next thing I know, OBS detected an error and shut down. And when OBS shuts down, it shuts down your game as well. So unfortunately, yes, we went and lost that. I'm gutted. What it meant was late last night I had to load up the game again, load up the last autosave, and annoyingly I thought in my wisdom, make recording a bit smoother, I'd set autosaves to every 30 minutes instead of every 15. Great, apart from my last 20 minutes of work. So I've rebuilt, this was partially done. I've had to rebuild some stuff, and as you can see, the scenic assets we put down we've lost. But I took the opportunity to put a cargo station in here. And although there isn't a cargo station here in real life, this is actually some holding sidings for passenger stock. But I figured we'd change it up a bit. There should be car parking down the middle here. I'm not sure how I'm going to get that in, but I'm digressing already. Yeah, I thought we'll put a cargo station in because we are going to want to ship cargo into Stockport. And quite honestly, I don't really know how else to do it. So we'll put that in there, which does mean we have cargo there. It's going to be a lot of industry here with trucks, or horse and cart at this stage, going in and out. We have our Longsight depot here, which doesn't have cargo. If we scan all the way across, you see the big ruler, that is still in, so I know where north is. That I will take out when we finish the series, because I'll be honest, I do get turned around very quickly and it's very easy for me to lose where we are. So all the way down here anyway. And we have our cargo here, which we still need more scenery assets. But they'll come, and then we can come back and we can hyper detail these areas. As you can see, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I think we've come along quite a way. When you see stuff like this, I think you'll agree, we are getting there. This is finally done. And annoyingly I had to do it twice because this was part of the stuff lost due to the time-lapse crash. The road network's not 100% to how it should be because of course we can't put roads under stations, so maybe that's something that will come in the next one. We'll see. Do have a hole to fill in there. You know what, there's no time like the present, so track down here, not that one, that one, that one. I think it's serial 5. Yep, that looks about right. Make this really long. Pop that in, and that fills in that hole. There's some jobs like that are really quick, simple, easy to do. Others, unfortunately, aren't. But hey ho. And we do still have a yard actually here to do, so that's a possible next video thing. what we're going to do is we're going to come down to Stockport, and I think we're going to add our West Coast Main Line train in. Current game, catch up. Oh. Got scared then. Had the blue rotating circle. Right, so we're going to want this 37 mile an hour. Purchase that. And oops. We're going to want passenger. If we can paint them red. Duplicate that. Bring those out. Let's set up a line for them. I'm going to go for a red line. And it's going to be West Coast Main Line. Short, simple, sweet. And at the minute, we're just going Stockport. Straight through, no local stops. And into Manchester Piccadilly. Now, we're going to want I want it to come out over here at some point. This middle track, so okay, I'm not sure what's up with these pillars, whatnot, but that's interesting. What I want is simple. Okay, like that. So Manchester Piccadilly, I want you like that. Likewise, we want you doing that. Sure, going up and down. Right through the middle. I like that. Like that very much. But I don't have to play with that. When scrolling back and forth, you realise actually this is quite big. And we are using, I like that, how it's automatically putting us in the bay platform for now. Of course, the West Coast Main Line won't be using that when we get going, but for now it works. Let's take a ride, and we don't have any signals, so we're probably gonna pull out of here and then get stopped and not go much further. Get rid of this. Don't need that on screen. Now, I did mention in a previous video about naming trains after people. I've had a grand total of 0 people show an interest in that. Oh, we've got to sort those bumps. I'm not happy with that at all. I will come in and fix that. We've got no wall along here either yet, but the wall's not a major concern. See the buses or stagecoaches as they are at the moment heading out on our left. Don't know if I kept all of the buses or if we lost some. I have a feeling we've probably lost at least one route. But not to worry. Now, let's just enjoy the scenery of our ride out into Manchester Piccadilly. As we can see here, do need to do a bit of cutting back. Can't blame VR for this because this, of course, is many years, almost 100 years before VR came along, so of course this will be down to whichever local railway company built this. Would have been the Liverpool and Manchester. I'm not actually sure who would have been responsible. But yeah, we certainly need to come and take some of those trees back a bit. But this is why I guess ride-alongs are helpful every now and then. Get to pick up on these things. Not a lot of scenery to look at. Certainly up this way. See on our left, we're just coming up to now tracks that diverge. We do need to definitely take them out further. bridge to build there. I'm 99% certain that nearly all the bridges are done now, apart from that one and this one here, it looks like. So yeah, 2 bridges still to be done on this line. And a track still to be connected there. How did I never notice that? I know where it needs to go. It needs to go right over to the opposing line. This is the thing though, when you're taking tracks in and out, it really pays to try and get it right first time, I guess. When putting these bridge sides in, it'd be very hard to do. Certainly trying to work out where you need stuff. But yeah, in hindsight, that's something we'll be doing as we go along. Is we are building elevated tracks with viaducts or what have you underneath. Get those built before we put our crossovers in. It's just so much simpler than trying to do it afterwards. You end up with missing tracks or buffers in the middle of your main line. But here we are on the last stretch. Put a little block in there, stop anyone falling off. Yeah, we're not too far from Manchester Piccadilly now. I love how we have got some town buildings there on our right hand side. Hardwick station there on the right. And some prettying up in that area. And two down on the left, our bus stops for our route that we've put in earlier in the time lapse. Something that probably should do in live. I know it is a bit choppy trying to watch that sped up, but again, as I mentioned, I was trying to get a video out for you guys, get it all done and wrapped up, because I don't want to lose any more momentum and have missed weeks. But yep, here we are on the approaches. See someone walking on the road below. Probably out for a walk actually. Oh look. There goes another train. Being held on the through track. There we go. That's the first run on the West Coast Main Line. As I say, if you would like to have one of these trains named after you, please by all means pop it down in the comments. Alternatively, what we could do is see if we can get a list up of Pendolino names for these West Coast Main Line trains and rename them after that. And I know when we sort of get into the modern era, some of the trains I will be naming after real locos, sort of the 37s, 47s. There's plenty of names to go at. Where was that track? There. Let's just get that in before we wrap this up. tracks. That I happen to know. Comes across like that. The only thing I don't recall is whether it's a double slip. We're gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I know Slim will be happy. He likes his double slips everywhere. Frame 2 still held here. Interesting. See why. Though we do want to try and fix that. Annoyingly, what I haven't done is left space for a signal. But anyway. Sorry for the brief interruption there. Unfortunately, I have a child here and she sometimes needs to be taken care of. Right, I've added a signal in here, just kind of as a release thing so we can get trains in and out of this yard a bit better. Let it roll out. West Coast mainline train is being held here. Hopefully that's going to cross over, get its correct line, which there it does. And that will continue down here, Central Road. I guess the next thing is we need to get trains using Ardwick as well. But that will come in another video. So we've got our West Coast mainline trains in. Temporary placeholders, of course. That's not really suitable for a West Coast mainline train. I do, as I mentioned before, want to extend these down. We're not far from the edge of the map, so I think we'll have enough room for the triangle junction down here by Davenport, and then we'll get our portal in and the West Coast mainline trains will use that. As I say, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you all for watching and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye for now.